Hello there. I'm so excited to share this with you. I have quite a nasty habit of being super obsessed with a niche within like a hobby or, products or something like that due to my ADHD, and just like going crazy, buying an excessive amount of product, thinking about it nonstop, and then it just becomes so overwhelming, way too much, and then it's a problem. I actually want to film today as well, kind of a spring cleaning type of thing, going through all of my old makeup from that past hyperfixation like a decade ago, because we gotta throw away a lot of stuff and I've just been hanging on to things and I don't want to be hanging on to things anymore. But anyway, what we're gonna do today is kind of go through some of the fragranced items that I would like to kind of do a project pan on. I introduced this as an idea in a previous video, but this I'm just gonna like formalize it, and I've made some progress since then anyway. I want to like show you the things I'm focused on, kind of work through how I plan on using these items, and track my progress. And yeah, some backstory, I'm very highly scent sensitive. So I have always lived with migraine and been intensely scent sensitive. I like call myself a vampire. I have like such heightened senses with that sensitivity I get during migraine attack symptoms. But also like outside of those migraine attack episodes, like I do tend to have like light sensitivity, sound sensitivity, smell sensitivity for sure. I'm very highly sensitive. So I have been very wary of dipping my toes into like this fragranced thing, but I started finding things that work for me and that I'm enjoying, and I'm kind of trying to get out of my box and discover what it is that I really do enjoy. And I've bought too many things. Not really, like it's not as excessive as I'm feeling like it is, but I do want to like prevent myself from building a really intense collection of items that I can't get through before they expire, because then we'll run into the same situation as that makeup. So typically the things I like are like those clean smells, but again, like I'm gonna share with you, I'm trying to kind of experiment with that. I'm going through a weird phase currently where I'm enjoying sweeter smells, but I'm like not sure how much faith to put in that, like how much stock I should be putting into that current like interest, because typically I do avoid sweet fragrances within products like candles and stuff like that, because they tend to be very triggering and more assaultive. Is that a real word? I'm not sure that it is, but it feels like more upsetting to my nose and my brain. Yeah. So let's do the like less interesting things first. I'm gonna do lotion related things. I have hand cream lotion things that are scented, and I have way too many of them, okay? Like I have like at least a dozen hand creams, and I do not use hand creams enough to warrant having a collection that big. So I really do want to focus on getting through those products. So I'm kind of considering marking on it where the usage is, except for with this product. I'm kind of just like nervous about that, but I'll explain that. Let's just start with that. So this is a hand cream that used to be part of a set in my kitchen. I had a matching hand soap that went with this, but I've since used all the hand soap. And as you can see, I've used almost none of this lotion, almost none of it. So that's kind of my concern. I won't be marking this because it'll annoy my significant other to no end and he'll yell at me. I don't want that to be a whole issue. So we're just gonna kind of monitor it physically and track the progress that way. So I'm trying to think of a way that I can realistically plan on using this consistently, because currently I feel like I've not used it at all. Considering I've gone through an entire hand soap and barely touched this, that's kind of like we're not using it clearly. So I don't know, maybe kitchen's not the best place to put it. I don't know a better place. The kitchen sink is pretty central in my main living area, so I do think I will leave it at the kitchen sink, but I want to create a habit and routine of using this consistently. So when I think about when it would naturally makes sense to use it, like right after washing your hands would make sense. However, I'm usually preparing food and I don't want that like residue, like when I wash my hands in that sink particularly, I don't want that residue there. So I don't know if that makes sense. Maybe I just make a habit of, I use this once I pack my breakfast in my lunchbox for work, like, because I'll be in that area anyway, assembling the lunchbox, and then I'm not like preparing food or anything, so like the residue won't bother me. So I do think maybe, I'm just thinking out loud literally right now. I didn't have a plan going into this. I have a plan for the rest of this, but I do want to use this once a day. just to actually have some usage on it. So that is something that I think I'll do. And I don't want, my goal is not necessarily to finish this because that's going to take forever, but I do just want to show that I'm using it, and I do want to consistently use it. I mean, I don't have like particularly dry hands, and we are going into spring, summer, so like that's less of a concern even, but I just want to use my products, you know what I mean? And if I give it a go and I'm not using it consistently, or I don't love it, or like that routine isn't working for me, I guess we'll just have to rethink it. I don't know. God, yeah, we're starting off on a rough one, but the rest of this is more fun. Now here, this one I'm a little bit more excited to talk about. So this is the last lotion, then we'll jump into actual like fragrance, like sprays. This is my lavender hand cream. I have this at my bedside table, and the intention is to put this on my hands and especially my feet at night, because I do have pretty dry feet and I don't like having dry feet. And also lavender as a scent is a good like soothing bedtime scent. I do also have a mini essential oil that I used to like put a drop or two on my pillowcase at night, and I've tried to stop doing that and use my lotion instead, but I'm very inconsistent about doing it. So this is another one where the goal is really just creating a routine of actually using it. And whereas the like hand lotion one is going to be a little bit more sporadic because I am not going to work every day and packing a lunch every day after breakfast. I forget if I said packing a lunch or a breakfast. I'm eating breakfast and packing lunch. I don't know. I do go to bed every night, so this I should use every day, and I do expect that the usage will go through, like we'll go through it pretty quickly because I do want to use it on my hands and my feet. And I do have a plan for once this is used up, I have a second lavender scented hand cream that I will swap out for it. So I just want to use it. It's gonna be kind of hard to see the usage. I'll try to film some B-roll where you can really see. Right now I'm not really totally sure, but I do feel like like this is mostly air up here, so I do think there's more usage in this than what it's looking like right now. Also, I got this in a set of lavendery things as a gift that I will link in the description below. I'll try to link everything I can in the description below, just for some context, but this came in a set of a bunch of other lavendery things like socks, candle, other stuff. Yeah. Okay, let's get into the fragrances. So as I started getting into perfume and being interested in perfume, I've told this before, but just to give you more context in case you haven't heard me say it, I noticed that I enjoyed kind of unisex types of smells. Like I didn't want things that were hyper like feminine, floral, that kind of stuff. And I still really don't prefer that in general. So my fiance had a small collection of some like colognes that he straight up doesn't use. He's never used them. So I've kind of stolen all of those items. I do have some favorites, but they're all pretty much similar where they're like citrus, water notes, like they're all kind of the same. And I enjoy that, but I want to make a dent in some of those things because I have all full sizes from him and I want to kind of work through them because they're definitely older and get some usage in, and then be able to like open up some room for new things that I want to try. So this one that I'm about to share with you, this is Blue from Kenneth Cole, and you can see a little bit of a dent already. Like I have used a decent amount of this. I don't know what it is about this one because it is not a body spray. It is a cologne or whatever, but I feel like I treat it like a body spray. Like I spray it kind of heavily. It's a very light smell. It doesn't feel like it sticks with me very long. Like it doesn't have a lot of longevity, and it's not a very intense smell. So, oh, I should put the notes on the screen of what this product is. I'll try to do that for all of the perfumes as well. So this is just kind of the first one I want to rotate through, and also the way that I'm storing these right now, I would love to change, but right now they're in a drawer, and just like there's not a good place for this to be because it's too tall slightly to place upright, but then it's really chunky when it's like on its side. So I would just like to get this out of my collection. It does seem like it's the easiest one to quickly work through because it's easy to spray a lot. So yeah, and eventually I would like to use the whole thing. I think that's kind of a stretch goal. I don't want to like heavily use it excessively, and I don't want to like focus too hard on getting through this particular product, but I do want to see some more usage on it. So kind of like the lemon hand cream where I just want to see more usage out of it. That's kind of the goal. It's not to finish the product necessarily. I would love to finish it, but like I want to just start. So next I have 4 things to share with you from my replica memory box. This was the first thing I purchased for myself in terms of scents, and I've really enjoyed a lot of them. Like I've gotten 2 travel size, like longer sprays from that set, And well, one of them was from the set, one was not, but it was within the replica line. And then I got a full size of Sailing Day. Sailing Day is my favorite. Oh my gosh, I love her. Yeah, but I do have these 4 that I do want to try to work on currently. And actually, one of them I just used today, and it was the final use. So one of them we're working out of the collection right now. I'm so excited to tell you that. So this, you can see, is empty. It is Bubble Bath. So it was kind of just like a clean smell. I actually kind of enjoyed this because I used this a lot more initially when I got the set, and then I totally dropped it and was using everything else, and I forgot what this smelled like. So I just recently used this 2 or 3 days, and I've really enjoyed it. It's very, I don't know, I don't really know how to describe it, so the notes will give you a little bit more context, but it's not like my perfect scent, but it was very easy to use. So I am not upset about this. I probably won't repurchase it for now, but like, if I ever ran across like a good deal for it or something in the future, I'd probably pick it up. Like, I enjoyed my time with this, but it is out of the collection, so I'm really excited about that. Okay, another one that I've made quite a bit of progress on out of these 4 is Replica When the Rain Stops. So I'm gonna, if this isn't a good view, I will get some B-roll, but this is pretty much close to done. I've used quite a lot of it. You know, I'm just realizing that it's probably not focusing, so I'm definitely gonna have to get B-roll. So When the Rain Stops, this is a really fabulous smell. I would definitely repurchase this in the future. I'm gonna have to wait a little bit and you'll understand why in a moment, but I only probably have 1 more use left of this, and I do think that this will be used up very soon because I feel like I'm gonna be more inclined to choose it because we have a lot of rain coming up. So I don't know, I think that that's just gonna inspire me to use this When the Rain Stops smell. I don't know. I think that makes sense. Do you think that makes sense? So I've used this a couple of times recently. I'm very close to being done with it. I think honestly just has 1 use left. Like, there's really not much in here. So this one will not take me long, and I'm excited to also be able to discard this. But I really love this one. It's very specific because all of these like replica scents are supposed to, I forget how they describe it, but it's supposed to like remind you of like a memory or a specific environment or setting. So it makes it a little different than like traditional fragrances. So like this is supposed to literally remind you of what it smells like when the rain stops. And I think it does. Like, I think that this one's a really wonderful one. So there's 2 more that I'm pretty close. I've used these both consistently-ish. And I only have a little bit of usage left on each of these. I don't know how many uses this will be. Probably, I don't know, somewhere between 2 and 5 uses each. I haven't really paid attention to how often I use these sample sizes. But what I have here is Springtime in the Park. That's the first one. Springtime in the Park. I haven't used this one in a really long time because it hasn't been springtime in a really long time, and it hasn't felt like it was a scent that made sense for a long time. So I've kind of forgotten now what this one smells like. I do recall it being a bit more floral than I prefer. So I don't know if I'm gonna love it, but I will at least give it another shot before discarding it, I suppose. So I'm excited to use this because spring is coming and I'm gonna feel very spring vibes, you know? So this one's gonna fit right in, hopefully, and not take too long to use. If I do hate it on me, I'm just gonna get rid of it. Like, if I try it one day and I'm like, oh my gosh, I smell terrible, I'm not gonna suffer through the rest of this because there's not much left. But I don't know if I hated it enough in the past because I probably would have thrown it away in the past if it was that bad. So I don't know. Anyway, last little sample thing here is Under the Lemon Tree. I loved this one, Under the Lemon Tree. It kind of has the same amount of use left. This one definitely smells very like springtime and very like fresh outdoor weather. Like, it's such a fun smell to me. It's like citrus, but like, I don't know, it's just a lovely scent. I love it. I love it. So, but again, it's quite specific. So like, it's not something I would just wear to go to the grocery store. Like, you know, I feel like it needs to feel like a good day for this kind of smell. So this one will probably take me a slight bit longer just because I felt like it projected quite a bit more. Like, it was a very like identifiable smell. I don't know. I don't know how to further describe that, but this one I don't expect to use as quickly as the others, but I am excited to use it because I do really like it. Brief intermission here. I have 2 more things to share with you, but oh, hey, it's my dryer. Oh my gosh, I'm having to, the cycle has started. So my dog is my husky. I'll put a picture of her on the screen because she's sitting over in her chair right now, not with me on the couch. But she sheds a lot just in general, but I forgot how bad it could be because she has two kind of times of year where she blows her coat and goes from like her summer coat to her winter coat or vice versa. And we recently entered the period where she is moving from her winter coat to her summer coat. So the house is a mess. There's fur everywhere. You could probably see fur on me or around me or in the air right now, honestly. Like the fur situation is out of hand. So I just for the first time, and I'm sure that this is going to go on for a month, I have to, okay, so I'll finish that thought in a second, but we put a blanket on top of our bed, like covers and stuff like that, the duvet or whatever. We have a blanket on top of that because she has no boundaries and I don't want her to have any boundaries. So she'll jump up on the bed either throughout the day, like whenever we're both at work or whatever, she hangs out in the bedroom, even if we don't close the door, which we're supposed to close the door per Dan, my fiance, but I often will let her free roam the house because she's a good girl. But she hangs out naturally anyway in the bedroom, curled up on the bed. So, and then at night she'll curl up next to like my feet. She'll come up to say goodnight or try to wake me up in the morning too. It's pretty cute. But due to her presence, we have a blanket for like protection of our actual bed. So I'm about to have to put that stupid top blanket in the washer and or dryer like at least every couple of days for like the next month because the fur situation is just out of hand. That thing was, it's supposed to be like a dark gray. It was almost white because of her fur earlier today. So I'm like, we're gonna have to do something about this. So anyway, wow, that was quite an intermission. That was also not what I was gonna talk about. Oh my God. So the intermission of what I wanted to talk about before I continue talking about fragrances is I've been noticing, I didn't know if it was a fluke initially because it was quite a while ago when this first came up, when I first started getting interested in scented items, by the way, but it came up again in a totally different environment with totally different people. And I was like, what is going on? I often will, this is about to sound weird, but I'll often get complimented on how I smell, which it makes sense with I'm trying to wear good smelling items, but I'll get that comment and pretty often the people will mention, that I smell like coconut. And I'm like, girl, what are you talking about? There's no coconut going on. I do use a tropical scented dry shampoo from Batiste, but like the more recent time, I had just washed my hair that morning and didn't have dry shampoo and I had nothing tropical on my body, on my hair at all. It was just one of these random scents that I had sprayed on myself. And this has happened before where I was thinking, oh, maybe it's my dry shampoo, but then like I hadn't been, like this has been a recurring thing. So I think I naturally pull coconut vibes. I have no idea what that means, but I love that for me because I do love tropical scents. So that's a random little fun fact. Anyway, I purchased this like mini set from Clean Reserve and the two ones that I really want to focus on, this one will make sense. It is the rain one. So this one I do not love as much of the like when the rain stops from the replica line, but it is still like similar vibes. It does smell good. And I've used it a little bit. You'll be able to see like it has a little bit of usage, but I do anticipate since I only have probably one use left of that replica one, I'm soon going to be turning to this. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I just looked up and there is literally like cobwebs and stuff in the like fan. Okay, we're gonna have to clean that. Okay, anywho, I looked at the weather and there's a lot of rain in our future, which is gonna be very sad for me. But like I said, I think that's gonna inspire me to wear this kind of a smell. So I wanna leave this open. So I do think I will go ahead and mark where it currently is, so whenever we check in again, we can see what that difference really looks like. And I'm gonna try to do that with all of the perfumes. It might make less sense on those little ones, but I will still try to do it. I don't know, we'll see. And this other one is kind of due to that current fixation I'm having where I think that I like sweet items. I'm not sure. It's Radiant Nectar, and from what I remember, again, the actual notes will be on the screen, but from what I remember, this is actually more of like a fruit smell, like maybe pear or something, and maybe that's why it's a little bit less insulting to my nose. I don't know, but I've used not quite half of it, maybe between a third and a half, and I have enjoyed this. I've more recently been putting it in my purse as like an on-the-go one, And the intention behind that is that if I forget to spray something that morning, I'll spray this. But I've mentioned this before. The problem is I don't forget to spray something on myself, so I've been neglecting this once again. I don't know. I'm a very forgetful person, again, that ADHD. And I forget a lot of steps in my routine. I used to literally have to have deodorant in my work bag because I would forget to put deodorant on in the morning. And I was like, I can't go around without deodorant. So I literally had a backup plan for me planning to forget to wear my deodorant. But I don't forget my perfume ever. And I also haven't been forgetting the deodorant in a while. I don't have to keep a spare deodorant with me anymore. But like, I don't know. I expected myself to be forgetful and need to reach for an on-the-go perfume, but that's just not happening. So I will not put this, I don't think I'm gonna have anything in my to-go bag, you know? I don't think we're gonna do that. I think we need to drop that habit. But yeah, I do think I would like to see how long it takes me to use up a product of this size, because I do have 4. I have this one, that rain one, there's one called Skin, and then there's another sweet one, I think Sparkling Sugar or something like that. I chose to go with this sweet one instead of that sweet one, just because I feel like that one was just more plain sugary and this one's more fruity. So this one's more aligned with my natural preferences. But yeah, I don't know how long it'll take me to go through something like this, but I do intend to use up all of those small replica ones. And I do want to see what kind of usage I can get on the 2 clean reserve ones that I've now shown you. So yeah, we're kind of throwing a lot at it, but I don't know, I'm still kind of hyperfixated on this. I was so relieved. So right before I went on vacation in February, I went to Cancun. I fixated for over a month on just getting a tropical smell spray that would be perfect for vacation. And it was like all I could think about for like 30 days. And I was so exhausted and angry at myself by the end of that, because it was just so, I do this to myself all the time where it's like, I'm so obsessed with one random little aspect of a random topic, and it's all I think about and look into and research, and I look online and I'll want to walk around stores and stuff like that. But like, it's so exhausting. It's so exhausting. But luckily I haven't had anything going on like that lately, because I did already go on that vacation and I got that perfume, and now I'm feeling overwhelmed with the amount of perfume I own. So we're in a better place, I think. Okay, I'm just rambling now. I'm gonna talk to you later. If you have any feedback, I don't know, let me know. Toodles.